Guys, we were talking some Penn State football today. Tomorrow we got a kind of a sneaky good game maybe in Penn State Rutgers. I mean, we'll see how Penn State looks. They're one of those teams that you never know what to expect with them this year. I mean, they've looked good and they've looked bad at points this season, and Rutgers definitely has shown enough to hold their own against Penn State. So I expect this to be a game that could be close. Penn State could very well lose this game. I mean, heck, they struggled against Maryland for a while. They pulled away at the end, but they could have lost that game if a few other things didn't go their way. And when you look at the Rutgers game, I sense it's kind of the same feel, and like just a few plays could change the whole scope of the game. Rutgers can come out with a victory, which would be very unfortunate because we don't want that to happen on senior day, and obviously we don't want to come out with a loss. Penn State still has 2 more games left on their schedule. If they take care of business against Rutgers, and then if they can somehow beat Michigan State, and I feel like they can beat Michigan State, if they can hang around with Michigan and Ohio State, they can hang around and beat Michigan State. And 8-4 would not be a horrible season. It would not be the season we hoped for, but it wouldn't be horrible. And heck, if they can pull off a bowl win, 9-4 would be a solid year, I think, especially coming off of last year. So I think that should be the goal. I hope this team isn't depressed or thinking that, oh, we suck and they just feel like the season's done. I hope that's not the attitude in the locker room right now. I hope that they understand there's still a lot to play for as far as program reputation, respect. And unfortunately, there are a lot of things swirling with Franklin, what's going to happen with him. And to be honest with you, I think whatever happens, happens. I think each side should mutually understand, like, hey, there are things that are not going right now, and it wouldn't be that bad of a thing if we left each other. Because Franklin, he's respected nationally as this really good recruiter and a good coach. He'll be able to land a job somewhere, even if Penn State wants to get rid of him. I kind of hope that Penn State wants to get rid of him because I feel like Franklin has not met the standard the last couple of years, and he's had an opportunity to raise his program to an even higher level than he has, because he did a good job resurrecting the program. But at the same time, once he got to that point of like national relevancy again, we had a chance to even go farther and make ourselves an elite team, which was our goal. And he failed to do that. He had multiple chances against Ohio State that he screwed up. He really just in certain games like that we should have won that would propel us to a different level. It didn't happen, and we need to get that kind of coach. It's gonna, maybe he won't be as good of a recruiter as Franklin, but if he can pump out top 15 classes consistently, I mean, heck, that's what Franklin's done anyways. Franklin, this year he's put together a top 5 class, but in the past he's never put together a top 5 24/7 composite ranking class. And if we can just get a guy that can recruit at good but not great level and develop those players well and can be a great game day coach. I mean, that's what Clemson did to become really good with Dabo Swinney. They weren't recruiting at some high level, and it's kind of a myth that you have to recruit like Ohio State or Bama to win the national championship. Yes, those programs thrive, and a big part of it is because of recruiting. But look at some other programs that have won national titles over the years. LSU, they recruit at a high level, but they're not 1 or 2 every single year. Okay? We don't have to be top 3 in recruiting every single year to do well. We can break through. All we need is a couple year stretch with a really good quarterback, a really good set of players that we developed, and the recruiting will come. I agree that consistently you need to have recruiting, but from a 1 or 2 year stretch that will make your program look a lot better. All you need is that 1 year like Clemson started having back in 2015-16, 1 or 2 years, and that'll set your program up for the next 5 to 10 years. And just because recruits will look at your program in a totally different light, and that's what Penn State needs. They need to have those just couple years where they're able to win a national title or get to the playoff or something where they can just like say, hey, we're in the elite now, and the recruits will respect that and go to Penn State. So if you can get the recruiting part down, as long as with the game day coach down, which we don't have with Franklin personally, I think he's one of the worst game day coaches in all Power 5 because, especially when it comes to just making decisions, time management and stuff, I don't get how I know it's different on the sideline. That's what I've heard, but I don't care. I mean, it takes somebody with half a brain that knows anything about football to make some of the decisions that Franklin has failed to make. And we need to get a guy that can be a competent game day head coach, not just a recruiter and then lets his assistants deal with a lot of game planning. Not that Franklin doesn't have any hand in the game planning, but he's just not. He's not the type of coach that is meant for preparing on game week, in my opinion. And we need to have a guy that can do that because that's extremely important. So yeah, well, anyways, this game, it's not really that sexy of a matchup, Penn State Rutgers, but heck, it's Penn State football, and it's important to win this game. I mean, losing this game would just dampen things even further, and we need to get back on the W column because I hate losing. All right, thank you guys. We are Penn State.